I will point out that King Alexander himself, when he left Murray State University and came to Long Beach, went back to when he was announcing to the Board of Trustees actually at Murray State, and telling them he was leaving, he advised them on how to handle their search for their new president. And he went on record, and we've published this, happy to give you copies of it, and said very specifically, you need to have an open search. You need to bring people to campus. Different people from different parts of the country don't understand the needs of this campus or this region. You really need to connect them with meetings and open forums with students, with faculty, with administrators, and this can all be handled easily within the process of a few months. And he went through a detailed process of bringing a big group, a big pool of candidates in to meet with everybody and get feedback and all that. When he went to LSU and was hired in secret, he then said, I would never have applied if it was going to be known that I was applying. And now, so he's now completely turned the corner on that. But we all need to look at this tendency of what's happening in academia, and particularly in public universities, because it doesn't make any sense. These folks are trying to argue that this should be that we should be treated like private corporations, and they should get market salaries as if they were CEOs of IBM or Xerox or Apple, right? I mean, that's their argument all the time. We run these big businesses. These are, and yet they want to be treated. They want to be hired totally in private. They want to keep everything completely secret from all that. They don't seem. And Michael Pounds is going to come up next real quick and address this. But this isn't IBM. This isn't Apple. This is a public university funded by taxpayers, primarily tuition paid by students at this point. That's how this runs. That's who's paying the salaries of these people. The investors in this corporation are you guys. These guys seem to forget that even at Apple, and my wife and I have owned some Apple stock, even at Apple, we get to vote. We get to have meetings. We get to go to shareholder conferences. We get to hear what they have to say, and they have to listen to what we have to say. So it makes really no sense, the arguments that these guys are putting out. They've just found a way to jack up the cost of administration. Anybody who read the Long Beach Trust plug around yesterday now knows that Cal State Long Beach has the highest payroll of any campus in the CSU. And as Michael will tell you, 2/3 of that goes to the administration, not to education. That's a problem, and it didn't used to be that way. So I'm going to introduce Michael Pounds. He's from the Department of Film and Electronic Arts, two-time chair there, notorious troublemaker, and a numbers cruncher, a man who goes through budgets in tremendous detail and can give you all that droll, drab stuff, but can really explain to you what's really going on here. So Michael, it's yours.
Thank you. Get a second here to orient my screen.
Michael, I need to sneak Mary in about 15 minutes.
Would you like to go ahead of me?
I could real briefly.
Why don't you do that?
All right, so I'm going to
I don't have a lot to say. But it's important.
This is Mary Celsi from the College of Business Administration. One would think she understands business, and she was associate dean over there, so she's seen it from both sides.
5 years. I think you've heard the process explained, and I think what I want to do is say something big picture. I had considered applying for the job. I'm not going to apply for the job, but I am going to tell you why I think it's important. When you hire a candidate through a private secret search, that candidate often comes with an orientation towards doing a lot of things through backdoor politicking. I have, obviously, because that's how they got here. And then they come to campus, and what I found is, in trying to deal with problems in our college, that every back door had already been gone to, covered, talked to. And essentially what I felt like, and this was pointed out to me by faculty in my building from other countries, they said, we've seen this. It's called cronyism, okay? And so decisions started to feel to me like from the top that they were all made based on persons and personality and not about issues, rules, and laws. And my environment as as a result of that environment, my environment became very unstable, unpredictable, hard to work in. And I don't know how many places on campus that happened, but I at various times, I had approached the Office of Equity and Diversity, the gentleman in charge of human resources that was supposed to keep the campus from being sued, the now president, former provost, the CFA, and sometimes something was done, and sometimes the most startling and shocking to me, biased personal decisions were made, and I felt like this backdoor environment was stifling. And the result is, and maybe students can't see it every day, but the result is that the faculty, these are the faculty that are here, or the ones that signed the petition online, and a few more, but there's a lot of faculty that just become passive aggressive, meaning they realize we can't do anything, we can't have any effect, we can't make any changes beyond our own little classroom, and the result is that you can't see it. The energy is completely drained out of the colleges and the university when faculty decide, I have tenure, so I can continue getting my paycheck. I'm just going to show up. I'll do my best in the classroom. They continue to try in the classroom. But anything that could be done on a larger scale with faculty working together in a positive way towards a bigger picture of moving forward, those things are kind of utterly destroyed. And it's hard because the people the leadership that's doing this seem very kind and friendly and nice when you chat with them. But when you see the results of all of it, it's just a very, very scary environment, I believe, my personal opinion, for faculty to work in. It's not how I was taught leadership worked when I received my MBA and got my PhD in marketing. I even studied leadership as a process of meaning. And I'd say they've mastered that in a backdoor way, but not in a front door way. I would like to see somebody come through the front door. I would like us all to be able to at least partly embrace that candidate and to be able to feel like we can work with that person to move the organization forward rather than simply being pawns on a chessboard. So that's my statement for today. And thank you, Michael, for letting me.
Oh, please, it was my pleasure. Entirely my
Mary,
pleasure.
you're going to leave in a minute. You're running to be one of the faculty. I think you should mention that, aren't you?
No, I was going to put my name in to be president. I'm not going to do
but
that.
aren't you also running to be a faculty
I think
representative?
I think Maria Correa
I'm
is.
sorry. Okay. I get
Maria
the
is.
M's
I
confused.
would not run against Maria.
Well,
I want to say one more thing. My view of what leadership is for the CSU as opposed to Apple, and I really respect CEOs, and I'm the salary thing I'm ambivalent about personally. However, what I do believe is that that person should be able to come to us and say that their vision of leadership is servant leadership. This is not a typical organization where we're increasing stakeholder value. We're building human beings, good human and educated human beings to be happy and productive employees and leaders in the future. So, thank you.
Thank you. So many good points in that. What Mary's pointed out, I have to add to, which is that doing things in a secret manner, doing things in the dark, doing things via cronyism, feather bedding, and every other unacceptable business practice you can think of, particularly in a public institution, leads to more and more dishonesty. and then all our opinions are based on the information we receive, and we're receiving dishonest information. Mary's from the College of Business Administration. Its enrollment in its MBA program has dropped. Am I correct in that?
I think it has dropped. I haven't tracked those numbers because, let's just say people who are teaching in that program are making a lot of money right now. I don't think that they shouldn't make some extra money. I just feel like there's a perverse incentive now, and we spend all of our time making money in the MBA program and not working on the undergraduate program. So I've heard it's dropped. I can't stand to pay attention.
Well, when King Alexander went to LSU, he gave a bunch of statistics of how well he had done at CSULB. One of the things he announced he had done really well was to build both the undergraduate and the graduate level of graduates, actual graduates from the College of Business Administration. And in fact, that was just a flat out lie. It went down under him as he moved money around, as he handled things. But you wind up back in a situation where who other than odd people like me or Michael Pounds go dig out the facts to look at that. At LSU, they went, wow, we built this up. Wow, we built up engineering.
We increased the cost of tuition incredibly in those programs.
Yeah.
And then that money went to pay faculty to do all kinds of extra things.
Right.
And I mean, we looked at that very closely, and I'm not saying some of that money shouldn't have been spent, but we had faculty that, that made $150,000, $160,000, $170,000 from working in the MBA program, and